So as the nighttime increases, by the time it gets cold in winter, we have to work together to make things go. It's hard to survive on the planet. So this momentum towards belonging, this momentum towards being involved, it also implies to be involved with other people means to be a bit more sensitive, a bit more responsible as well. So this is the increasing darkness is the increasing of responsibility, of involvement with others. And if you're trying to be more independent when you're really meant to be being more involved, you damage yourself. So we're going to experience all sides of these, all the different takes on it, but our nature, where we are, which half of the year we're born on, has already set a very strong theme that's really important to understand, because we'll go out in the world that way. And when it's time to turn in and go inward again, we have to see how we've gone that way and turn it so we can see how we can drive ourselves inward again. Sometimes we experience the increasing daylight, they're doing their own thing, and relationships are just an add-on to them. Somebody has to come and follow me, or because I'm leading. Sometimes with the darkness increasing, someone's very deeply in a relationship and the other person isn't holding steady. They're not being as sensitive, not working together with it. These are eternal problems. Everybody runs into them. So this primal, this here, the solid and the broken line, this is from the I Ching. It's yin and yang and yin. The solid is the yang, the activity. The broken is the receptive, the darkness. So it's the male activity, the projection, the trying to be instigating and activating and being independent and being creative and doing one's own thing. This is all the daylight increasing half of the year. I'm going to be doing my thing. This is more me. I got a chance to do something. I better do this so I may not get the chance again. You know, that's, get out of my way. That's the daylight increasing. The darkness increasing is somebody's there for me. It's more important that someone would care. I would give up myself rather to be with someone. It would mean so much more. So why do I want to do it myself? So someone born with the darkness increasing when it comes to studying, or you got a kid and they're studying and they're going to school, they're going to need a little more support, a little more sensitivity from teachers and parents to get them to get their homework done. Someone with the daylight increasing, they need to be challenged to do more and do better and be getting ahead. So they each may need the attention and guidance, but it's going to be of a different kind. The daylight increasing are a little bit more wild and harder to sit still. The nighttime increasing are more belonging and more sensitive, but they're less motivated to do their own thing or to take the initiative. So this is simple. It's totally simple, but incredibly profound. So this profundity, you just got to, every chart, you got to look at this first. Where is the sun? Boom, boom. Then you might see the moon's there too, or the moon's not, or they're all spread around and you see which planets are on which side. But right now, we're working with this. We'll get to that when we get to advanced levels. But right now, it's nothing. We're looking at the zodiac. What sign are you? Is this true? Are you trying to find your independence? You're trying to find your own way. If you're the Pisces or Aquarius, and you're involved with other people, you're still trying to make it work for you so you'll come out of it ahead in the end. Whereas the nighttime increasing are more, I don't want to be alone when I'm older. I would rather be with someone. They're working towards a team. The group is, the sum of the group is the group together is stronger than the individuals. And the individuals are only as strong as the group. So there's a funny balance in sports and anything between who is trying to do their own thing and who's trying to work together as a team, who's being free, who's being responsible. So the polarity in the zodiac is between freedom and responsibility. And we all have a relationship to how much freedom we need, how much responsibility we need, and what's normal for you. So someone else might be more ambitious than us and be doing things with us, and we wouldn't go that way, but there's not necessarily something wrong with us. We have a different level that we're supposed to work at it. And there's something special and good that happens at every level of this. So anyways, this is the first, the two extremes of the cycle, the longest day, longest night, and the two halves of the year. This is the first connection of how we're connected to life and to nature. And it's the reflection of how we're supposed to be, or how we can be, what we can live up to. When we put this to the wheel and the color, we see the darker colors. The darker colors you see clearly because it goes from blue to a dark blue, and it's supposed to be really a dark blue, but these are all built up a little higher so we can see the colors better. At the June 21st, it would be the end of Gemini, of orange, going into an amber, changing to an amber. And the yellow is really a gold, so you would say this is the brightest time, but there's an overlap. This is really the brightest, the longest day, the most light is on June 21st. And this is how it fits to the colors of the zodiac, or to the color spectrum. Okay, now the next cycle, from here we've got the two extremes, and we see the daylight increasing and darkness increasing. Now, once we have these two extremes, we can see the halfway points. We can measure the halfway points when daylight and night darkness are equal, when there's 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night, when the light and dark is equal. And this line goes across here, so you'll see it on the next drawing. This is the next great category of the zodiac. Daylight is there's either more daylight than nighttime, which would be spring and summer. There's more nighttime, more darkness than daylight each day, and that would be from September 23rd to March 20th. So the winter, fall and winter, is when there's more darkness than light, and we all experience that darkness through cold, it's harder to do things. We have to be more dressed up. We have to be more responsible. We have to work with other people more. You have to have fuel. You have to have heat to take care of things. And it gets more so the more family or more of a group you have to work together. But this, where the other category was the increasing movement, the momentum towards freedom and individuality, or the momentum towards belonging and being responsible. Here, there's a blatant statement. Half of the year, from March 20th to September 23rd, is the daylight is greater. Spring and summer, there's blatantly more light. It's the growing season. Everything's being active. Everything's growing. Everything's active. Everybody's doing their own thing and trying to see what they're going to do for the summer. This is generally our fun, playful time of the year, where we have individual adventures and we go places, but it's not the most social time of year. It can be social, but really it's about what are you going to do? Are you going swimming? Are you going out doing something? You're playing a sport. You're doing something. What do you do with all this extra light? Rarely do you just sit at home and stay inside during the daylight time. When the nighttime is there, it's more effort to go outside. It's easier to stay within. So this division between the spring-summer half of the year and the fall-winter half of the year is one between, if you're born in the spring or summer, I call it an I-me person. Independence, whether you're moving towards it or away from it, independence becomes a primary thing, doing my own thing. This is me. Okay, so you have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, all I-me people. They're in it for themselves. They're doing their own thing. They're not exactly followers. They have their own ways. So when you think, is that true? Do Aries do their own thing? Or are they more sensitive to others? Do Tauruses have their own taste, their own way of doing things? Try and change it. Do Geminis do their own thing? They're not really, they may be know a lot of people, but they're following their own ideas and not so much listening to and doing what other people are saying. And Cancers, they have their own personal moods and feelings, and their security has to be a certain way. And Leos, are Leos an I-me person? Are they doing their own thing? Of course they're doing their own thing. They're out there shining. They want to be noticed for what they're doing. And Virgos have their own system. They're always trying to improve what they're doing so they can be better than just the show of Leo. They're trying to do better, but they still have their way of doing it. Don't criticize the Virgo. They'll get mad at you because they figure they're figuring it out better than anyone else anyways. So this is the independent side, the freedom side of the zodiac. Spring and summer, when you get to the fall and winter, the nighttime is greater half of the year. You'd have Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Are they team players? Us more responsible? Libras are always looking for the dreamy relationships. Scorpios are trying to consummate relationships. Sagittarius are trying to find as many ways and as much fun they can do to consummate and make as much social interaction as they can. They don't like to be tied down, but at the same time, they want to be open to a lot of people. Now, serious, reserved, shy Capricorns, they're still responsible, ambitious. They want to prove something. They're cautious, but they still have a sense of sensitivity to where they fit in and where they don't fit in. And Aquarians too, they want to talk, they want to be friends, they need other people, and that means more responsibility, more sensitivity to other people than the Leo, who doesn't need the sensitivity, just wants to show the stage. And Pisces Two, we're trying to feel and can understand everybody's stories. These are all social factors. So you have an independent side and a social side. I like to think of it as the freedom side, the blatant freedom side, and the blatant social side. So freedom versus responsibility. We're all born, we're all trying to be more free or more responsible. And by nature, we start with being more free and more responsible. So you can be more free and trying to be more free. You can be free and trying to get more responsible. But that's the two sides. That'll be when we put these together. But you want to be able to see and observe it in every chart, everyone you look at. Even when you look at people, you can almost look to see, are they moving towards more independence? Are they pushing to go further on their own? Or are they trying to be part of the team or following what everyone else is doing? So like everyone has relationships. We all have relationships to each other. We're all affected by each other. But there's a difference in this perception of how someone is trying, what the standard is. The standard of being free, ask a Gemini to be responsible and to meet you at an exact time. If they're late, they'll say, oh, big deal. But if we're Sagittarius too, they'll have more they could be late, but they have more explanations why. Capricorns usually aren't going to be late. They're going to plan on time, they're going to be there, but they'll be put out if you're not matching the commitment. So whenever you try and understand one sign, you look at the other and imagine the opposite. One's being more free, one's being more responsible. And the responsible is more sensitive to each other, but it's also weaker. It's not as strong in doing one's own thing, but we'll do what we have to do. We have to do this. We have to take care of these things. I'll do my part. I'll play my part. And the I-Me signs, they don't really care if they can play the part, but they're not going to play it that long or that extensively because they want to do their own thing. It can be directed, the independence, the freedom can be directed towards things of value to other people. The collectiveness and the teamwork can be directed to making people more individually stronger, but that's choices. But seeing this factor of the day and the night changing, the day and night being longer, and the daylights are longer or nighttime is longer when you were born, that's giving you an exact measurement of where you are in this scale. This is really huge. It's really valuable. It's the essence, and none of this is talked about. You could read 10, 20 books on astrology, you won't see this. A few, but not. Dane Ridger would talk about the phases and the cycles. Most of the astrology is presented just numerologically, and it leaves out these primary factors. These primary factors are so clear, they make it all come alive. They make astrology really come alive.